but in very different times, under a very different sky. It may be bright and clear overhead this lunchtime, but the darkest of clouds has descended on this club in the last 24 hours. There is quite obviously a sense today that it could mark the end for this group of Saracens players. That's the bare facts of it, Ben.
Yeah, it could, and obviously there's still a lot of uncertainty. We're obviously in the dark, the public are in the dark, but equally the players won't know everything yet. They won't know the plans that the coaching staff have started to talk about with the management here. They might know before us and they might know before the public, but they certainly won't be fully aware of the connotations right now.
There's the man at the centre of the storm. He's removed himself from the club, but the ramifications of the salary cap breaches will be far-reaching. Lose today and they're out of the Champions Cup as defending champions Saracens, and Racing would secure a precious home quarter-final. It would also be the last time Saracens appear in the top flight of Europe for 2.5 years. That's the price they would pay in addition to the Premiership relegation. Nigel Owens, our referee today. I think we need to remember that this scandal is not a player responsibility, yet they are the ones who have to face the fire, both on the field today and, of course, the uncertainty off it tomorrow, and they are up against a very high-quality opposition. Racing bursting to make the breakthrough in Europe, unbeaten in the pool, thumping Saracens in Paris in round one, and eager to go all the way, and they're up against what has to be a vulnerable, emotional opponent this afternoon. The opening 10-20 minutes going to be absolutely critical to gauging exactly where Saracens players' heads are. Iribarren clears safely with the first kick of the game.
Yeah, I think that's important for Racing as well. Obviously, a really good exit there from Iribarren. I'll try and put pressure on this line out now. Just try and find any way to get inside the heads of this Saracens team.
Lovely ball for Itoje off the tail, and Elliot Daly brought into the equation up the midfield. Very slick so far. Farrell prods it through, and across they come. Racing, but they're being bundled here by Skelton, who's driven them to within 5 metres, and Saracens have the early penalty. And as statements go, Hugo, that little passage right there perhaps tell you the frame of mind that Saracens are in.
Yeah, that was really accurate play. Game line first phase. Lovely ball at the tail of the line. Elliot Daly pokes his nose through, and it's their ability to get round the corner and then make good decisions. We know what Saracens are like in terms of their attitude. The roars go up here as they kick to the corner. You mentioned it just a few moments ago, Benny, but the opening 20 minutes will be fueled by emotion, but it's trying to convert that emotion onto points on the board.
Just looking at Ben Spencer's little celebration towards the crowd, it's as noisy as I remember it here at Allianz Park. Something that they can finally cheer about after all the distractions this week.
Again, claimed by Itoje as Billy Vunipola is stopped just shy of the line. Ben Earl is poised, decides to leave it alone, and they will drive with tremendous power and so much purpose. Within 2 minutes, they're in front.
It's a brilliant try. First of all, the penalty that they won, then the kick into the corner, and the play off the line out, bringing Billy Vunipola around to charge in towards the line. Standing there looking like he might go into the maul, but full tilt, times his run to perfection, and then it's just about the patience. And what I love about Maro Itoje's pick is he doesn't go straight to ground, he just holds and holds until the support comes in to drive him over, sets up a little more, and then drives for the line. It's a brilliant start, and just what Saracens needed.
I'll tell you the other thing, we've been to Allianz many a time, but I've never heard it as loud as what I'm hearing it so far. And that'll be so important to the players, to give them that lift, block out all the noise, all the exterior noise. None of that matters today.
So the conversion
completed
by Owen Farrell. And they have set their platform. They've set out their stall here, Saracens.
Just a missed time. He wasn't quite on the floor, okay?
Another penalty, but playing the man in the air.
6 metres infield and 1
Dangerous for Racing just to let this game
He just wasn't quite on the floor when he tackled him. Just
start
a technical
to
penalty, nothing
drift
more, okay?
away in terms of control. Needed to pen Saracens down into their own 22, but
You all?
just a mistiming of the tackle. Player still in the air, and Daly can stick this down over the halfway line.
Elliot Daly must have wondered what on earth he walked into, in some regards, having moved here from Wasps over the summer. It's been nothing but confusion and trouble since he joined. Post-World Cup, here they are making their statement on the field, where they do it best.
Hey. Time out. Now, hang on. When you come in, I can't have one man here and then he's either out 10 or he's in here, okay? So back 10, 5 man, please. Okay. From now on, get your numbers, give him a chance to get the numbers.
Yeah, that was really good control from George Cruz there. Didn't rush in, was making sure they wanted an even match at the line out with 5 men.
Stay back, boys.
Jackson Ray with possession, Spencer to the air. It's a teaser, it's a tester, and Dulin is equal to the test. Pressure from Shegan, but took it immaculately well.
Superb. It's a really good chase from Shegan. Dulin just diffusing that aerial threat. And Finn Russell just replying with another aerial bit of bombardment.
Play on.
Daly couldn't get onto it. Spencer does the tidying and a little bit of stepping from Ben Earl, and then the leg drive puts them on the front foot again. Billy Vunipola, ball in hand. Earl once more must be threatening the international stage, you would think. Eddie Jones naming his Six Nations squad for England tomorrow. Here's Barrett. Over the top he goes. Shegan taking on Dulin, who holds firm in the tackle. Ball is loose though, and it's been swept up here by Gomez Sarr of Racing.
That's not gone, Mike.
Bobby Neat.
Knock on.
Okay, play on.
Uruben went to pick it up and rolled it. They're going to come back. They were just checking.
Yeah, I think it was Imhoff who was going in to do the job, wasn't he? And I think he just had a little nibble at it.
I think it's that hand on the ball from the player on the floor, and he looks up to see where he's going to be passing it, and the hand doesn't come off the ball, just dislodges it.
Now you're going to injure with 8 black.
There is a degree of concern to the left of your shot, because Billy Vunipola looks to be leaving the field for the time being. That might be a head injury assessment.
Yeah, doctors came in, took him off. He'll be allowed his time just to be able to go through the correct protocols, mind you.
Yeah, well,
yeah. Skelton comes on into the second row. Maritoji will move to 6. Ben Earl back to 8.
Right, good space, good standard, please, okay? Stay square. Then good height, good bind, okay? Shoulder
and we're
up,
learning
please.
that is, in fact, an injury change that is permanent. So Billy Vunipola's day has lasted less than 6 minutes. That is a big concern with the Six Nations around the corner.
Good.
Get an update on that as soon as we can for you. In the meantime, Skelton into the back, into the second row. Maritoji to the flank, and Ben Earl to number 8. A reshuffle in the Saracens pack, and a scrum penalty.
You just see better route hinging there. You can see his body position, head on the floor. Bar the Billy Vunipola injury, this couldn't have been a much better start for Saracens. Another opportunity to drive the ball down into that area where the line-out drive becomes an option. A little bit further out than they'd want, but put it past this team, certainly after they ran the first one as a peel round the back.
Well, each of their line-outs has been very, very slick and provided a fabulous platform. They are in pole position here, and George Cruz has won the ball. Jamie George is onto it now, trying to take the legs away from the Racing pack. We've done a pretty good job here of stemming the flow.
Stay out.
It is there for Spencer and Jackson Ray. Barrett. Farrell holds it back, throws the dummy, then is dumped in the tackle. Spencer looking for it, but Racing have it with turnover ball. And they work beyond the 22. Chavancy sends it wide to Imhoff. You'll love the look of even just a metre or two in front of him of open space. Russell. Vakatawa, arguably player of the tournament so far, sends it wide. Streaking up that right-hand touchline through Laurie. And now Dupichot. And then a fumble from the man of the moment, Vakatawa. That is a collector's item, a little bit of feist.
Well, yeah, Will Skelton just shoving Vakatawa in the back. Right in view of Bernard Leroux, and he just had a...
It was a brilliant break here, and this is what Racing really thrive off. He sees Vakatawa up against Will Skelton, gets on the outside, but that level of unstructured rugby, offloading game is when they look at their very best. I mean, that's what, 6 inches away from putting into... This is the injury of Billy Vunipola,
which we understand is an arm injury, and of course he has had history in this regard. He's had 2 arm breaks.
I mean, the fact they took him off so promptly without actually assessing him, called it a day there, that's of major concern for Eddie Jones, of course, names his team tomorrow.
Just wondered, you saw his elbow drive into the floor there. Could be a shoulder injury, it might not be forearm, but equally, if he's got metal work in there, just that sort of, particularly on the hard surface here, just that sort of bang can send shockwaves through a previous injury site. Let's just hope it's that.
Racing come forward through Leroux. A sight here of Boris Palu, who's uncapped at the moment, but picked in the French squad, but turnover ball, and Maka Vunipola charging forwards for Saracens.
Great strip from Owen Farrell to dislodge the ball.
Just take them back, boys, okay?
Releasing Daly now, Farrell. Look at that pass, laser guided to Maitland. He's in space, and there's trouble here for Racing. The inside ball is good. Spencer, 3 men surrounding him, needs support. Barrett is there, pops it off the deck for Vincent Koch. As Saracens keep this move flowing, backs and forwards in unison. Skelton, Maka Vunipola takes the contact. Desperate times here for the Frenchman in defence. Spencer pulls it back to Farrell. Daly's on his way, trying to suck in those defenders. The ball is loose. It's been knocked forwards by Racing. And ultimately, Saracens are empty-handed for a moment there.
It's a quality
they were in.
break from Saracens. Elliot Daly at the heart of things. This pass here, over the top, pinpoint, and then just look at the support lines around the initial break. Daly's line, although he doesn't get the ball, he protects Spencer, who's running an equally good line, and it's just those flood of numbers.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
And then, is that a deliberate knock-on? I'd say it is, you know. He's swinging an arm.
Okay, Nigel, number 9, Blue, leaves his arm out. It's a deliberate knock-on. Do you want to look at anything else?
Yeah, we're looking at a good attacking positions. If you're telling me it's a deliberate knock-on, then we have a yellow card.
We've got a yellow card, absolutely. I'm just going to look for whether there's a potential try, because, well, bear with me 2 seconds.
Couldn't agree more. It is an overlap.
You need a wide angle for it then, Matt.
Unless,
yeah, we're just getting the wide angle for you now, Nigel. Bear with me 2 seconds.
unless a Riberan's trying to tackle a man who's about 5 foot wide, why is his arm out so wide? It's just there, just to, I mean, that's a 2-on-1. It's definitely not a penalty try. But it's a definite yellow card. That's cynical.
Okay, Nigel, shall I tell you what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Let me give you my initial thoughts. We're quite far out in the 22. We may have players which will come across to cover. That's my initial thoughts.
That's correct, and it's a short pass as well. It's not a long pass out to the winger who's on his own.
We are looking at no attempt to tackle by 9 and a yellow card penalty.
That is correct, yes.
So there'll be no penalty try, but Iribarren will go to the bin.
You went to tackle and you left your arm out like that and made a deliberate knock on, okay, and that's a yellow card, and you're lucky it's only just a penalty and there was no try going to be scored, there would have been more, okay?
Yellow for Iribarren, Racing down to 14. And one of their linchpins removed, quite obviously.
Well, Racing have had one opportunity and showed their danger, but they themselves are in real danger here of this game getting away from them. Saracens on a high. They haven't managed to dent them psychologically at all, and it's all gone Saracens' way, and they're going to try and turn the screw. They are going to go for every opportunity for a try in this game.
I'm not sure I've ever seen quite so many people inside Allianz Park. They're absolutely everywhere today. They're around all the concourses. They're standing on platforms to get a view. As the ball is claimed by Cruz, and they go to work again from close range. And surely this only has one ending. Racing splintering, Jamie George, ball in hands. The try's awarded. Saracens had two,
On the line.
and they've set off like a steam train today.
It's just a wave of determination. Each try they've had could have been stopped if they'd just accepted the fact that they were tackled. They set up a really nice drive here, and they get it marching forward almost too well. They get a bit loose, but they regather. And then once Jamie George has to go off on his own, there's just no way he's going to be stopped. He fights for every extra inch. The decision-making's good. I've lost my support. I've got to fight my way over the line. He gets there. It's a perfect Saracen start.
Yeah, Vunipola at the bottom of it all, and so much support behind him, driving him over the line. Brother off the field injured. But a second of the game, really putting Saracens in the box seat early on. More than a point a minute at the moment for Saracens, who are full of purpose and belligerence today. And Vunipola has now scored in 4 of his last 5 in all. 14 points up.
Well, Racing and their discipline have really invited Saracens into the game. Of course, they've executed really well, but Saracens are living off 80% possession in Racing's half. It's 4 penalties to 0. The last time they kicked off, they gave away a penalty. So first things right, get this kick off, get a decent chase, and stop giving Saracens easy exit. That's a great take.
Well claimed by Cruz.
Equally, that choice of kick is a big, I mean, for someone of George Cruz's ability, that's bread and butter. It's a big opportunity for him to set a really nice, psychologically lifting catch up, set the drive up. They get a brilliant box kick, lovely chase from Shagan. It's just all playing into the home side's hands at the moment.
And of course, they're missing Iribarren, so in terms of their playoff 9, Finn Russell's really going to have to step up, and his backs are going to have to get some control back.
Ball is loose, it's been claimed by Vakatawa, and there's a race on here for Taylor. Vakatawa's broken free, as Vakatawa has been doing all championship. And he's rescued something here for Racing, who were in danger of being left behind.
Potential knock on here has got to be looked at.
It didn't look like a knock on, it looked like it came off the back of his neck, back of his shoulders, really.
Nigel thinks it's come off the back of the neck or shoulders. I think he might be
just
right
slow
on
it
that
down
one.
now so I can have a good look at it. Bear with me a sec.
But either way, it's a really good kick chase.
I think he's right. I think it comes off the Racing player's shoulder and Daly's hand that knocks it backwards.
I think it's Dipusho who chases it. It's a really good contest, but it's a lovely kick from Finn Russell. They're the basics which Racing haven't done so well. Let's have a look at this contest. Yeah, it's right. It's almost come off Elliot Daly's bicep, gone backwards.
There's no clear knock on there, Nigel.
No, look at me, like it's off the shoulder, doesn't touch his hand. We're good to play on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good work, Win.
The view of Nigel Owens and Ian Davis suggestive of the fact that this will still stand. And Vakatawa has another try to his name. And Russell converts to drag them back into the picture.
Well, it's a classic Saracens try, isn't it? The tries we're often used to them seeing kit chasing.
Behind
And they've had it done up against them, and this man, Vunipola, as you've already mentioned, is there a player better rugby in Europe at the moment? The guy's on fire and dragged his team back into this contest.
I guess an easy enough try to put behind you from a Saracens point of view, though, that, you know, bounce of a ball, things go against you, that's going to happen in a game. At the moment, Saracens are the ones that have been creating all the hard-fought-for tries.
Ron Imhoff is the man charged with scrum half duties in the absence of Iribarren. Daly gathers, thinks about the quick one, thinks otherwise. So this is the top 10 as it stands. Top 8, as we should say, in the Champions Cup. Saracens creeping into that with the scoreline as it is at the moment. Northampton 1 point above them, obviously searching for a bonus point today here. Saracens with the victory as Ben Earl crashes forwards once more, beyond halfway. Spencer, quick ball for Daly.
Stay 9, stop! Good man.
Dulac fires it off his left.
Just looking at that last phase, as they came around the corner off Ben Earl's carry, they had Owen Farrell really flat, and Daly is the second playmaker deep, so they've got an option on either player. Earl carries, Farrell comes flat, and then they put it behind him as that second option.
Toji arching his back, and Racing have infringed at the line out, so there is a penalty advantage. And they're just letting themselves down time after time at the moment. The French now their 5th penalty conceded.
4 in their half, that's what's really killing them. And fair play to Saracens, they're putting pressure in the right areas. They're converting all of that territory.
Offside, up early.
Convert that territory into points. As aggressive as they were in their decision-making and execution, Owen Farrell just thinks it's time just to take a break.
Before it was over the 50.
And take that simple option.
Good decision to take those 3 points. Nibble away at that easy 7-pointer that Racing have just picked up. Take that advantage down to 4. They're still quite a long way out, bang in front of the posts. Change the mindset, stop going for the corner.
Well, he's been one of the chief architects of their success over the many, many years. Owen Farrell. And he's put them in front by 10 points now. 17 points to 7 they lead. 3 more from the boot of Owen Farrell.
Yeah, it's got to go over the 15 in a long throw, or you stay until it leaves its
Top
arms
scorer
behind
in the
it,
Champions Cup for the past 4 seasons.
No, it's not. No.
Reliant on victory
Got the
today.
ball and the ball catcher.
And indeed thereafter, if they're to have another crack at it next season.
See, Ben, we were talking about restarts. I think that's what Finn Russell's trying to do. Get the ball over George Cruz's head onto that single carrier in Duncan Taylor. Make it more of a one-on-one collision. Take away that driver line out. That's one object. This is the next one, diffusing this aerial bombardment.
Another pinpoint accurate kick from Ben Spencer. Pressure on Dulac as soon as he gathers it. And the ball stripped of possession, but Nigel Owens doesn't like the look of it.
Just a timing issue, unlucky.
He's absolutely right.
Unlucky.
Nigel Owens appreciates it. It's the right call. He calls tackle because the knee's down, so it is completed. But Maro Itoje's got his hand on the ball. There's his knee go down. That's where he calls tackle. He goes, well, I've half got it now. I'm not. You're not going to release it, are you? Nigel Owens appreciating what's going through Maro Itoje's mind. Now they've got to muscle up in deep.
What's the yellow card got, boys?
Well, it's almost definitely going to be a drive now, isn't it?
What's the yellow card
With
got?
Teddy
30
Irvine
seconds.
in the bin for another 30 seconds. Losing that passing threat. Looks like Juan Imhoff is trying to take on that role, but I'm sure they'll try and challenge Saracens up front.
Teddy Bobigny, the Racing hooker, no chemist shot today. Left out a handful of what you might call frontline men. Ben Tamifuna, Teddy Thomas, Anthony
Are you 10
Claassen.
metres or in? Where are you? 10? Okay, stay 10 then.
A lot of progress being made here. Imhoff is getting sucked into the maul.
Skelton did really well there to destroy that. Looks like he's given a penalty against him.
Away, Saracens! Advantage penalty.
Playing with that advantage. Russell fires it out, and again the low-slung Vakatawa firing through, gaining crucial meters. Russell, he's got a bit of a tangle, and Imhoff arrives to help out of the back of the hand. We've seen that before from Racing. Taken up here by Dupichot. Bobigny, that looks a little high from Farrell, came piling through.
There's no advantage coming, eh? No advantage coming, and I can't play on forever. Back you come.
Right, so we're going to call them back
you slowed it down,
for the original offence. Let's talk to Alex Sampson, part of the coaching staff, of course, with Sarries. Al, given everything that's happened in the last 24, 48 hours, this is just about the ideal first 20-odd minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great start, isn't it?
Went to
We
ground
talked
and
about
you
losing
lay on it. Away quicker.
or letting it go, depending on the mental headspace where the boys are at, and they've turned up and they're using it. It's been a great start to the game, but this is a true test now of how we keep them out from our try line. A big physical pack like this, you can pretty much predict what they're going to do. It'll be a drive, and then forwards off 9 until they get a bit of space for Russell. So, yeah, good start. Long may it continue, Ali.
And we're going to concentrate here for a brief moment, Alex. If you just stay with us 1 second, I'll be very appreciative. Just want to ask you a quick one on Billy Vunipola, but let's have a look at this line out from Racing, which is gathered towards the tail, and they try to get the drive on. Black shirts assembled in numbers. Ben Earl's right in the thick of that, Ben.
It's outstanding defence from Maratoji. If he can stay on the ball, he went up and then managed to, as he landed, get back in. He's just taken a shot to the ribs behind, but he's done a fantastic job.
Ball is available. Take it down, Blue.
Back in position. There's Russell. We've seen what he can do from close range before. Tonga is on his shoulder. Driven back towards the post. On comes the power from Racing. They're not too far away.
Stay back, stay back, stay back.
Not the best of balls for Russell to have to gather in, and back goes Barrett. It's been knocked forwards. Saracens' ball, and they hold out. And Alex, if I could just ask you that quick one on Billy Vunipola, can you tell us anything about his injury?
Suspected broken forearm. He's broken them both in the past, so you start to think there's going to be something genetically wrong with him. But yeah, he knew straight away, so we got him off the field. And not a bad replacement bringing on Will Skelton for Billy Vunipola, is it?
Yeah, that's a crushing blow. Thanks very much for your time, Al.
Cheers, Ali.
Goodness me. Suspected broken forearm again.
Stay good.
Well, that's the Six Nations done for, quite obviously, but more significantly, that's now a third broken arm for Billy Vunipola.
Yeah, it's a
Nigel
shocker.
looked knock on live, so.
We've heard from Billy about his previous 2 broken arms, and physically how tough it was to get back, but mentally and emotionally you start to doubt whether you can do the things you can do. It's obviously a crushing blow for Eddie Jones and for England, but I guess in a brand new cycle and seeing some of the other outstanding number 8s that we've seen in the Premiership, Eddie Jones has got plenty to choose from, but gutted for Billy.
Yeah, it's hugely disappointing for Billy. Eddie Jones, they'll be delighted with Marrow's defence at this line-out. Look, he'd gone up in the line-out, competed, but he still managed to get in on the ball, and then he just held in there, and you can see how high Racing get as a result. They're trying to force the ball down, and they lose their body shapes in trying to look after the ball rather than concentrating on pushing it forwards. And that gives the picture to the referee that it's Racing that are desperate to get it to floor because they know they're in trouble, they're about to lose the ball.
Good height.
Not too many starts at lock, and of course he's had to move to flanker on account of the injury to Vunipola. I told you, big Six Nations ahead for him, having been so instrumental in the World Cup campaign. Man of the match in that semi-final against the All Blacks, of course.
Totally wrong to talk about it when you were thinking about Billy Vunipola and him potentially missing the Six Nations, but this now becomes a huge performance for Ben Earl in that slot. He's been playing really well there while Billy was away with England.
Well, it's begun well from the base, and Taylor has it as a consequence of that initial dart from Earl. Spencer, he's got Jackson Ray crashing forwards at a rate of knots. Skelton in for protection. Iribarren into the backfield alongside Dulin and Imhoff. Farrell goes the other way and pushes it in behind Dupichot. Awkward bouncing ball, of course, on this surface sometimes, and Dupichot is going to take on Maitland. Brought down very effectively by Vunipola. Russell thinks it over the top. Vakatawa's read it. Oh, so nearly had it. And Elliot Daly gathers it in. Russell follows up with the tackle, and they'll come back for the knock-on. That was a fingertip away from being utter genius.
Just watching the eyes of Finn Russell as he points out dummies and then kicks to himself. I'm not even quite sure if it is a knock-on, actually, and manages to knock it back, and it comes off his shin. But he catches that flat out.
Let's go.
Yeah, that comes off his shin. That's play on for me either way. Elliot Daly cleans it up. But we've seen that option a couple of times already from Racing. I mean, it's 30 metres out, but look at him this season in terms of defenders beaten. There isn't a more potent attacker. But out to in line that he runs, he's such a big physical specimen. Add that in with a little bit of footwork, sprinkling the stardust and guile, and you've got yourself a world-class player.
You've got yourself a world-class player, you've got yourself a world-class opponent for England in round one in Paris. No doubt he'll be in that French midfield, an all-new French squad, of course, and believe it or not, there's only one 30-year-old in the squad. It is Bernard Leroux, who's on the flank for Racing today. They've gone with youth, they are planning for the future. Duncan Taylor sets the platform here for Saracens. This is Skelton. Tackled early. Spencer for Farrell. He intercepts. Dupichot is it who has it, and he's streaking away. He's read that beautifully. And Racing have a second, and a second out of nowhere. Both of their tries have come out of nothing. Vakatawa to start with, now Dupichot. And they are proving tough to shake off.
It seems like a gamble, but it's anything but. Been in this position many times, the wing. You can see as they quickly overfold. Owen Farrell so quick to want to get to that width, and Dupichot just pokes his nose into that space, gets in between the players as well as Owen Farrell's pass. Absolute picture-perfect position for him, and snaffles that one out. And you're absolutely right, Racing haven't created a huge amount. Two opportunistic tries, two very well taken ones.
Just one of those where a slight delay at the breakdown impacts further down the line, because Farrell's already decided it's on, he's going to throw it. Ball doesn't quite come as quickly as he wants, and he still doesn't rein it back in. He takes the gamble.
Iribarren, having served his time in the bin, adds the conversion, and they are only 3 points away, Ben.
Yes, Farrell, he wants to get on his bike, he wants to get round, but just that defensive line's too high. Needed to make the call or have someone outside him that perhaps wasn't looking back at Spencer to say, look, hold on to it. And now we spoke about the subconscious of sports people and everything that's gone on before. This is the challenge for Saracens now, having started so well, having been on such a high that they were dominating Racing. They've now had all that good work for giving Racing two fairly cheap tries. Can they put this out of their mind, or will the events of the last 48 hours start to weigh on them?
Toji has been magnificent at the line-out. That's a rare error from Brad Barrett, who just a moment or two ago was being treated.
You're absolutely right, Ben, when you're talking about the psychology. So the next play you want is really simple, and that's what they do. 10, 12, truck it up, get round the corner, but then you knock it on. It's a lovely ball at the tail of the line-out. This is basic, stock standard Saracens play. To the captain, knocks it on. All of a sudden, it's one negative, backed up with another, backed up with another. And that's why it's so important to have these mini conversations. Just to have these mini conversations. He looks like he's struggling, but when you look at the forwards in a huddle in terms of what are we going to do the next 5 minutes, next set play, get ourselves back in the game.
You're dead right. This is where the forwards are going. Right, we need to take control of this now. We need to tighten it up a little bit. We need to get back to our driving game, because that's how we got into this game in the first place. So you're almost saying, regardless of what they're saying back there, take it on your own shoulders and force our way back into this game.
Well, this way, backs and forwards fall out. Can't trust the backs. Captain's dropped the ball. Faz has just thrown an intercept. Keep it up your jumper. Let's go pick and go, lads.
Ugo, you know better than anyone, you can never trust a back.
I always back myself, that's for sure. Rightly or wrongly.
So predictable, this conversation, isn't it? Don't forget, everybody, a little later on this afternoon, Toulouse-Gloucester from Pool 5, BT Sport 2, a 3 o'clock kickoff, and simultaneously on BT Sport 3, Montpellier against Connacht. Toulouse, obviously hot favourites to beat Gloucester at home. Cherry and Whites need a bonus point win to have a sniff. All the highlights from 5:30 this afternoon on BT Sport 2. And don't forget, Rugby Tonight on tour on Wednesday. We'll be looking at the impact and the ramifications of the Saracens salary cap crisis and their relegation from the Gallagher Premiership. We're back into the Premiership next Friday with Northampton against London Irish. 7 o'clock start on BT Sport 2 from Franklin's Gardens. And a date for your diary as well. Saturday the 22nd of February, Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder. Going head-to-head once again, the biggest fight of the year. You can watch it live, exclusive on BT Sport Box Office, live from Las Vegas, as racing attack again through Iribarren. Marching through the middle of that 5-metre channel via Russell inside the 22. Concerning moments potentially for Saracens, who've begun so strong. They were 14 points up after just 12 minutes.
Superb attack. They've stolen 40 metres down that blind side. Lovely hands, incisive running, and they're back at it again now.
Tonga, who's growing into the game as well on the carrying front. Quick ball for Russell. Vakatawa again on the angle. Always on the angle. Taken up by Palu.
Stay down one.
Imhoff fires it out, and Lore carries it up. Iribarren for Tonga. Russell, here's Vakatawa, trouble for Saracens, he's in! Yet again! Vakatawa does what he wants.
He's a joke. The boy's a joke. This is, as an individual performance, it's 2 phases ago. I mean, it all starts on that centre field scrum, really good hand, starting from Iribarren all the way down to Finn Russell, who puts his jet shoes on. He doesn't get enough credit, actually, for his pace, but his weight, the way in which he manipulates defenders by having the ball in 2 hands and then chucks on the afterburners. It's a lovely, simple play. I say it's simple. It's simple when you're as good as he is. Massive fend-off. But his contributions, a couple of phases beforehand, that out-to-in line which sucks in defenders, gives them front foot ball and finish it off himself.
Who's the defender that gets sucked in? Brad Barrett, maybe just thinking I need to make up for that drop ball that I made, and it's just starting to unravel a bit. And you saw the body language of the players, the Saracens players, as they went back under the sticks. Heads starting to go down, a few of them just wandering back. Someone needs to get hold of them.
Just keep an eye on the clear outs. They're coming through a wide gate.
Yeah, that's
for me, but just make sure that it is a wide gate and not clearly from the side, okay? Just in case I miss it.
What a turnaround for Racing 92. It looked as if this game was drifting away from them. 14 points down after 12 minutes. They've scored 3 tries since that moment. Russell setting this one up for Vakatawa, who's now got 2. lethal in the open spaces.
I guess the other way it manifests itself is it becomes reactive. So Saracens were dominant defensively before. Now they're trying to react to what Racing are doing, and if you do that, you lose the advantage. When you've got players like Vakatawa running at you, you're never going to win if you're trying to react to what he's doing. You've got to own the situation, own every tackle.
No.
Iribarren safely away. You have to pay enormous tribute, don't you, to the resilience of Racing 92. Not too many come to Allianz, go down in the way that they did, to the extreme that they did, and find a way back in. Still less a French side in Europe away from home. Might be a generalisation, but I think it's fair to say it's true as Farrell comes forwards and Skelton is bundled in the midfield. Earl has lost it, and they're well back behind the gain line here. Saracens, Racing pouring on top of them defensively. Here's Vunipola.
Lost now! No!
It's really important whatever they do now in terms of this attacking set, but they keep it simple, but they get a positive outcome of it, whether it's a kick chase. Farrell's now in the pocket.
Show and go from Spencer, stolen a metre or two, brought down by Benarous. Spencer, though, has injected some urgency into proceedings, and Maitland has it now. A little better from Sarries, fluency and patience in the phase play. Skelton. Farrell again, looking for that offload. Not quite there for Jackson Ray. Vunipola, the dummy runner, so too Skelton. Farrell, oh, beautiful double pump, and Daly's on his way. 8 metres out. Itoji robbed of the ball. It's gone forwards. Racing have it, and they will breathe again. Russell sends it long. Daly's waiting there. Farrell in the backfield as well. Opens it up for Skelton, who fumbles. And again, you can just see there are nerves out there.
It's too loose from Saracens' perspective. They give away the penalty. They've lost control of this game. Even the breaks, even the Daly breaks, it's off the back of loose play. I'd like to see Farrell really managing the game. It's a lovely pass, and the delay is beautiful. But I'd like to see them managing the game, saying, look, telling the opposition, we've got control of this game. We don't need to chase this game. You might have scored 3 tries unanswered. We're going to stick it into the corners and we're going to pressurise you. But at the moment, everything's being shipped on. Someone's getting tackled. They're trying to pass the ball on to the next guy.
So here's the seedings as they stand right now. Of course, Saracens have gone behind here, so they've dropped out of the top 8. They've dropped out of qualification for the moment. Currently lying in 9th place, and a win here for Racing, as we know, will secure them a home quarter-final. Gloucester in 10th place, taking on Toulouse at 3 o'clock from Pool 5. BT Sport 2 for that one. Bobigny into the last 5 minutes of the half, and the ball has been stolen by Cruz. Spencer feeds Earl and Farrell and Taylor. Maitland on the outside, gathers it from Daly. And one stolen line out provides Saracens with 35 metres gain.
Stay back. No, he fairly tripped. Play on, tripped.
Farrell. Daly.
Backwards, always backwards.
Held behind the gain line. And Racing scrapping for possession there.
Good passage of play. Now it's broken down. Now you need to play more structured. Just get control back.
Farrell pops it over the top, looking for Taylor to run onto it. Vakatawa was there. Iribarren seeking out space, but Daly is patrolling. And Daly guides it inside the Racing 22. And it's going to roll all the way through the in-goal area.
We talk about the intangibles in rugby so often, and the major one today is momentum. At the moment, Saracens aren't getting the bounce of the ball, making far too many mistakes. They've given away the last 3 penalties, and they're playing against the ultimate momentum team. You saw what Racing did last week, and they're doing it again today.
Just big moments where you can make an impact. This guy, he's talking to the people around him. He goes one-handed. That just, if you go one-handed, you can shape your body so you get an extra hands width, hands length, maybe sort of 6 inches just to get your hand on the ball. You need moments like that. Your big players standing up and delivering, even when everything else isn't going so well. Just to keep that confidence in the game.
He's one of those players around whom there has been quite a lot of talk about his future, potentially eyeing up a move to Japan, we're told. There is so much uncertainty surrounding this group of players at the moment.
I think he's a massively underrated player. And I think in another nation where they didn't have quite as many options at second row, he would be a superstar.
Free kick taken quickly by Iribarren there, keen to put pace on this, and Vakatawa brought into the equation again. They want him getting as many touches as possible, quite obviously. Bobigny now. Palu.
Hands away, move.
Russell.
Saw that one coming. Such a danger, isn't he, at the gain line, but well defended by Saracens.
Earl and Cruz combining to close down that avenue. Vakatawa bouncing off Shegun and Taylor. So difficult to bring down.
The way he knows the tackle's coming, the big shot's coming. Skelton there, and he just uses it to his advantage. He lets them bounce him, and then he rolls out of the tackle.
Bernard Leroux is bundled in the midfield. A lot of earnest endeavour here from Racing. Not too many dents made. This is Tonga.
Tackle!
This is where I think Racing could just use their boot just a little bit more in terms of protecting their forwards. Got a big physical pack who've gone through a lot of work, and Saracens are defending it. Sometimes you just got to respect the defence. Been driven back 15 metres, but they continue to play.
Russell creating more space on that 10-metre line. Iribarren wants it. Saracens surely offside in their line speed. Over the top goes Russell. Vakatawa slips past Shegun, and he's away towards the 22. Well, that in itself is worth any price that you might have paid to be here today.
He's done him with a moonwalk.
Timo, check.
What is he doing? Check what?
I just want to show you
a high
some
shot.
foul play by Black 19.
Skelton.
Okay. Time out.
I saw Brice Dulin in trouble. I wonder
Just
if this was
on the
on
screen now. There's a no
the
arms.
fullback. Here it is.
There you go.
Ooh.
I just want to show you another angle of this. Nice.
Where's that connected?
Oh dear, that doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
red card.
It's a red card. If the one yesterday
Okay, Nige.
at Ulster
are you seeing
was,
those pictures on the screen?
it's no different,
It's unnecessary.
isn't it?
It's unnecessary. It's late and it's high.
So we've got a late tackle, no arms, and just showing you the point of contact now.
That's a red card.
It's a red. No argument.
Seems to be a huge amount of debate about this.
Okay, Nige.
Hang on. What's that? Good. Okay, what are we seeing here? What are you seeing here? Show it again to me, please.
Okay, coming up again for you now, Nigel.
I saw it right. I saw it right. It was collision, but I didn't see where the contact was made.
Yeah. Okay.
He stood up and he ran into it.
Coming up for you now, Nige.
It's late as well. It's worse than yesterday's at Ulster.
Okay, so where is the contact? On the chest, is it?
Okay, Nige, so it's late. It's no arms.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll just confirm, and I'll show you the point of contact.
It's chin. It's chin. It's not
Okay,
chest.
for me, that catches him on the chin.
Okay, so we got late, no arms,
Correct.
and contact to the chin.
Yes.
So we're looking at a red card from what everything you're telling me then, everything you're showing me here.
That is correct, yes.
All agree, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah? And what is...
Let's get on with it. It's a red card. Come
It
on.
wasn't a clear drop in height, and I don't see any... if he's always illegal. Okay, so what number is he?
It's number 19.
He's the largest man on the field.
And penalty is back.
Hard to miss Will Skelton, but he will play no further part in proceedings here. And Saracens' job,
Brad.
and indeed their week, just became that much more difficult.
My team has shown us some pictures that you may not like to hear, but we do have a late hit, we do have a lead with the shoulder, and we do have contact with the face.
Is there no mitigation?
There's no mitigator, no. There's not enough dip in the height, and I appreciate he's a tall guy, but because his action is always illegal, then the mitigation does not play part of it. So I'm very sorry, well, that's a red card, okay? You need to be better than that in your tackling technique, please.
When it rains, it pours. Saracens facing the worst week in the history of their club, facing a crunch match, a do-or-die contest here today at Allianz Park. They've lost Will Skelton. They are down to 14 for the second half of this match, and it's going to be very, very difficult. They do, of course, have an excellent record coping without 15. We only have to look back 1 week to Rhys Carr's red card very early on, and they held out to win against the Ospreys. This a rather different equation.
And Nigelo's explanation of it, because the technique or lack of technique was always legal, there is no mitigation. It was a legal tackle technique, it made contact, therefore it was always going to be a red.
You say it never rains, and you're absolutely right, but let's not forget that's a late tackle, so he doesn't need to make that tackle. So maybe he just wants to leave a shoulder in there. When things are against you, you have to go the opposite way.
It's born of frustration. They've given away the last 5 penalties now. And sometimes people go off script trying to fix the world and solve it. The one thing you have to do is lean upon the structures which you're given. Easier said than done, that's for sure. But either way, the impacts you have on the pitch are there to try and help your teammates, not take away. And of course, that's quite clearly the latter.
Teddy Iribarren.
Okay.
And it's just drifted away. So second best Racing for the early part of that first half, certainly for the first quarter of an hour or so. What a half of rugby we've had. 2 early tries for Sarries, 3 from Racing, 2 from Vunipola. Billy Vunipola with a suspected broken arm, and a red for Will Skelton. Half-time, Saracens 17, Racing 21.
Hello to all the much loved and highly esteemed members of the Saracens family. When it was proposed to me, if I wouldn't mind saying a few words to regards the feelings and our opinions here at the training ground, I jumped to the opportunity. Not just because I love the camera, but also because it's been a while since I've had an interaction, and it's important you know where we are. Thankfully, you've been really patient with us during the whole time of transition, as well as the COVID situation. One of the things Dad always told me was that when your hardest hit, you see the bones of an organisation, and that's where we are now. But that's all in the past. As an organisation here at the training ground, we are so excited, not from what's happened, but where we're going. For our horizon is bright, blindingly bright, in fact. And on that horizon, as well you know, is rugby. It's just around the corner. Let's talk about the rugby, because from my own point of view, I know how committed we are as a coaching group, how committed we are to each other, how committed we are to the players, and how committed we are to you guys, the other members of the Saracens family. And from a player's point of view, all our senior players, all the ones that we wanted to stay at least, are staying with us. And not only that, we've got some brilliant young talent going to come through. We'll have that opportunity next year in the Championship and when we come back up in the Premiership. So as I say, the future's bright, and we're looking very much forward to going on this journey. Now we just need you. We need you to come on this journey with us, together at Saracens.
Stay back. Come back, come back, come back. Stay back. Stay down one.
Yeah, I feel very privileged to have added another year to my contract here. It's a place that me and my family have really come to love over the past 6 years, and obviously had some really good seasons. Made a lot of good friends and just really enjoy the way things are at the club. So yeah, very happy to have extended. You know, after all that's gone on, you can see by firstly the amount of players that are staying. You know, no one's jumped ship to run away from the tough things we faced. You know, and secondly, the way we're now looking forward to proving a lot of our critics wrong, finish out the rest of this premiership, and then going into the championship and holding ourselves to the same standards that we did for the past 10 years, and you know, get this club back up to where we believe it should be. The injuries come along well. I've actually come back into the training now feeling pretty good. You know, I think if we can just focus on enjoying what we're doing, the results and things like that should follow. I think we've got, you know, a team that can put those type of things into perspective and really value the enjoyment that we associate with the hard work that we get done in the club. So hopefully that's the way it goes. The challenge, everyone's accepted it now, and yeah, I'm sure the boys are looking forward to flying into it.
So I think my favourite comeback was the Loughborough game, I'd say.
I think mine was Quins.
Why?
Mine was because of what the game meant.
The first try that we got that catalyst. I don't think at any point I was properly worrying, thinking, oh God, we're going to lose this, which is ridiculous when you're 20 points down.
What about Alex's speech at half-time?
The silence in that room after he stopped, that was insane.
What about your favourite social?
There's only one to talk about, yeah.
The final.
It's the final.
Yeah. What one?
Yeah, which final?
Oh, I wasn't at the first one.
Oh.
one of those moments you were both at.
Did we break the trophy again?
Many times.
Yeah.
Don't think so.
What are 40 minutes in front of us here? 40 minutes for Saracens to save what's left of their season. The Premiership is done for them. Europe is everything. Without Europe, without a victory here today and a place in the quarterfinals, there really is nothing left to fight for in this campaign. And they trail by 4 points, and they are playing a man down. George Cruz, surely one of the rallying points for what needs to happen in this second period. There will have been some strong words at half-time. They've set off in meaningful fashion beyond that 10-metre line, taken to ground by Vunipola. This is a club who have proved themselves extraordinarily resilient on the field in times of high stress, but this is the ultimate test, you feel. Surely that went forwards from Racing, did it not? What's the ruling from
it came off first. There was
Nigel Owens?
I think Shagan might have been first.
Yeah.
First knock on, second knock on, scrum.
Racing ball.
First knock on with you, second with Racing. Scrum down. Blue ball.
Yeah, first touch from Shagan. Worth reminding everybody of their ability to play a man down. Saracens in their last 4 games where they've had a player sent off, they've won 3 and drawn 1.
No leaning in, please. Keep the pressure, okay?
Of course, all teams train a man down here and there just to plan for the eventuality.
Set, hold it there. Come on, lads. No, both. Hey, come on now. Both sides. Get
Confirmation
in.
of that
Nothing
particular
moves.
statistic. Let's have another word with Alex Sanderson. Al, there can't have been too many more half-time talks that would feature more prominently than the last one. Can you give us a flavour of it?
Yeah, I mean, the first part was tactical. What do we do now? We're down to 40 men. Do we take a back off and put a forward on, as we did last week against the Ospreys? But it's a different challenge with this Racing back line on a nice day, not on a rainy day, down in Swansea. So we decided to, as you can see, go 7-7, 2 flankers in the scrums, so we can have some width to our attack and our defence. Thereafter, the messages which were going to be said about us looking and talking and moving with more urgency, particularly in defence, has just heightened that as an awareness for the second half. And then Faz rounded up well by talking about the choices we have to make. We either sit down, lie down, and roll over, or we stand up and rise. And the opening stages of this first half would indicate that we've gone for the latter.
Alex, it's Hugo here. I mean, how difficult a challenge is it for the guys to be able to keep their emotions in check whilst also portray the right attitude and the correct body language which is needed this second half?
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? I'll say it again, what I've said before about this group of players. I am constantly surprised and in awe of the resilience, of the backbone that they have. So this game is far from over, but we've got to put a big shift in to get the result that we want.
Thanks, Alex.
Cheers.
Here's Daly on halfway. Space here for Maitland, drawing 3 men in. Brought down well by Dulin. Spencer for Vunipola taking on Bobigny. Saracens building nicely, not too many committed to the breakdown. Plenty of forwards and a little pod outside. Owen Farrell. Spencer picked up by Farrell. Wide he goes. Shagan tries to shake off the defence, but there is no shaking off Chavancy, and indeed the ball looks like it's been turned over. Racing have it. They're digging in similar fashion. Remember, they were the ones that were 14-0 down after 12 minutes here at Allianz Park. Unbeaten in the Champions Cup to this point, Racing 92. Daly for Maitland again. Step. And, Finn Russell is there, just enough for the support to arrive. Lorre was helpful, more than that. Over the ball and securing the penalty.
Owen Farrell's just going in to ask Nigel Owens with Brad Barrett, who was taken out in the backfield, who would have been the first player there potentially to make the clean out.
Nigel, I'm just going to show you off the
TMO
ball,
is going to have a look now.
Turnover. Bear with me 2 seconds.
And that's Ian Davis, our TMO again, whose voice you've just heard. We're going to be seeing the incident.
You're spot on, Ben, aren't you?
Nigel, show it on the screen now. There's a takeout off the ball, okay, which affects then the potential turnover. Bear with me, stand by.
Time out. I'm not seeing anything here yet.
No, we're just getting the angle for you now, Nigel. Bear with me.
Certainly the animation of Farrell was suggestive of
Look at the guy with
an
the
incident
red scrum
that
cap.
really did affect proceedings.
And nothing will happen yet.
It's just a little shove from Bernard LaRue, whether it's enough.
He takes 12 black out to the game.
Well, to be fair, Barrett's walking across his line, isn't he? He's chasing. Barrett walks across his line, he just sort of puts a little shove. I don't think that's too bad.
Stand his ground, is fine, play on.
Huh?
Nothing in original call.
Yeah, nothing with it.
Yeah,
nothing in it, boys. No, nothing at all. Just as I thought.
So they can protest and they can shake their heads, but the decision is not going to go their way. Iribarren will line this one up from 50 metres out.
Time on. All right. There was nothing wrong with it.
Still the conversation continues. Farrell stalking back to his mark. Iribarren cold-eyed. It's big from Teddy Iribarren. Longest kick of his season.
Okay.
Yeah, slight bit of breeze at his back there. Had plenty of distance, didn't he?
Behind you.
So important now, Saracens, just to get down into the Racing 22, trying to apply some pressure there. They don't necessarily need the ball. They just need to pen the French team back in their own half, in their own 22, and have some time here.
So at new scrum half, Richard Wigglesworth replacing Ben Spencer on 46 minutes, and Shegan replaced by Lewington on the wing.
That was the combination that won the game for them, wasn't it, last week? They'll be looking for a similar impact today.
Farrell. Maitland chasing Barrett underneath it as well, but it's Dulin who commands the airwaves.
Tackle!
Bobby Neat is held. Iribarren got it away to Russell. Daly with time. Farrell for Earl. Dynamism from Ben Earl beyond halfway. Taylor in to secure the ball. Here's Itoji taking the contact. Vunipola riding alongside him. And locked over the ball is Lorre, but he's going to have to give up the fight. Wigglesworth feeds Farrell.
Stay 21.
Lewington lurking on that right-hand touchline. Good challenge from Iribarren, but it was forwards from Racing before it made the touchline.
That's a better few phases from Saracens. That man Earl carrying really well, slightly different to Billy Vunipola, uses his footwork to knock the defender off balance and then accelerates, and means it's an arm tackle that's coming at him rather than a shoulder. So he's got all the aces, he can maintain his momentum, doesn't quite manage to stay on his feet, but he is a very, very exciting ball carrier, and someone who I'm sure is firmly on Eddie Jones's radar.
Jamie George will no doubt have noted Luke Cowan-Dickey's performance for Chiefs yesterday as well. And the need to maintain top gear ahead of the Six Nations as Wigglesworth feeds Farrell. And Daly goes round the outside and Dupichot can't cling on. Wigglesworth calling for it. Makatawa a little bit slow in removing himself, and Nigel Owens is playing the penalty advantage as a consequence. Barrett tucks it inside the 22. Taylor's onto this, and he's got it away beautifully. And here's Ben Earl, inside ball for Itoje. In they go. Saracens breathing life into their campaign once more.
That's a brilliant response. Brad Barrett kicked to perfection, had loads of time to make it because Saracens had taken the sting out of the defensive line. Little bit of play to get to Barrett. There, you can see all the pace comes off the defensive line. And then what's Ben doing here? And just doesn't attack the ball at all. That allows Taylor to regather, gets the offload away nicely, and then Itoje just continues his support run. Earl, beautiful offload as the second man comes in before the hit is made. That is a great response.
Teddy Erobaran, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Second try of the day for Itoje. Farrell to level things up with half an hour to play. Looks good. Looks good from Farrell. These are the days that he lives for. These are the contests. Saracens rising again.
Yeah, it's a quality try, isn't it? Penalty advantage allows Brad Barrett to try something which looked a little bit speculative, but on this kind of surface you cannot allow the ball to bounce. It is so firm, it gives an extra spring into it, but that offload, the way in which Ben was able to manage his body, ride 2 tackles and get the offload in, that was the game changer. Ties scored with 30 to go.
Brilliant touch from Earl, displaying the range of qualities we know he has. The speed, the dynamism, the power and the deft touches as well. Wigglesworth, the arch game manager. Much needed at a time like this. Scores level. Down a man. Half an hour to play. Ball dislodged from Racing. Saracens possession. Dulac. Nicely weighted this. And times his chase well, Dulac.
It's really good communication from Wigglesworth. He told Farrell there's no time, so he had to get up, claim that ball and secure it.
Trying to work it in that 5-metre channel, Saracens, and touch is found. Oh, they've gone quickly, Racing. Nigel Owens doesn't like it.
It's because it's not their ball.
Back off White into touch.
That would be the main reason. You suspect.
It's a big 10 minutes now. Speak about momentum. You've already mentioned Wigglesworth. I think it's a brilliant substitution. Ben Spencer clearly wasn't happy coming off.
Yeah, you are. You're thinking, not just you, a lot
but
of
in terms of controlling the game, extra head experience.
If they come up offside, I'll be playing on, okay?
So here's the table as it stands. Saracens outside of qualification. They need a win here today. Nothing less will do for them. There we go. Lying in 9th place at the moment. A draw won't do it for Mark McCall's men. Another meaty drive beyond the 10-metre line. Jamie George drives it on. Wigglesworth to the air. Lewington just fractionally in front by the look of things on the chase. Again, another question mark as to whether that went forwards. Saracens allowed to play on. Wigglesworth feeds Farrell. Noise levels rising inside Allianz Park. Daly on the angle, punching it into the corner for precious territory.
That's quality. That's something Daly was practicing in the warm-up. Just taking the ball, running onto it at pace and driving it down into the corner. That's what they need. Particularly now, all the pressure's starting to go back on Racing. They need to hammer that home, turn the screw, and keep Racing turning back towards their own try line.
Alex Sanderson will talk about Swansea and the conditions being different, but the tactics exactly the same. The last 10 minutes they've been able to wrestle it back just through their kicking game, through their energy, through their kick chase. That's the hallmark of this Saracens team.
Stay.
Ribery trying to wriggle through, but there is no finding a passageway through. Ben Earl, who clobbered him.
No, okay, you let it go, so we're going to play on, okay? You let it go, so we play on. Hills.
Russell for Dulin, pressure coming on from Farrell. And not a huge amount of distance gained as a consequence, so Sarries pinning their opponents.
That pressure. Ben thinks he can make a little break underneath Ben Earl. He gets caught at the bottom. That means they haven't got their box kicking specialist. Finn Russell comes in, so they take away one of their best kickers, pass it back to Bruce Dulin. And they don't make much distance.
Itoje with the dummy, Cruz with the tap. Maitland. Wigglesworth for Maka Vunipola. Bobini swiftly up. Wigglesworth. Iribarren, had one eye on the opponent, and the ball transferred to Jamie George. Alarm bells ringing here for the French. Wigglesworth fishing. Cruz. Farrell. Barrett. Straightening again, it's Bobigny. Heads up on defence. Farrell switches the point of attack. Earl, extraordinary footwork.
Play on off the feet, the blue.
Itoje rescues the ball.
Last now, blue.
Farrell again with that double pump, just trying to suck in the defender. Vincent Koch goes to ground. Jackson Ray runs into a brick wall. Tonga. Itoje similarly. Racing really having to dig hard defensively here. Up she goes from Farrell. Lewington lost it behind. Iribarren. Good depth on the kit. Isn't there too much? Couple of revolutions too many from the Racing scrum half's perspective, but regardless, a big net gain.
Yeah, they'll get the ball back off this. Just looking at Saracens and the way in which they've been able to work their way back into the game, you can see the amount they're actually just kicking to compete, but it's the percentage which they're able to convert of those really good kicks, those competition kicks, as well as being able to get them back.
I think what's helping and could become a tactic for them is when Racing are feeling like the game's getting away from them, they're overloading people into the breakdowns to try and get the ball back. That means the crossfield kick is on because they're shortening up their defensive line, haven't got enough bodies in there, and that's why Saracens are finding a little bit of time to make those decisions. We've already seen the Brad Barrett kick for the try.
Dulin. And Daly watches that fly past. Bruce Dulin, who started the 2016 final against Saracens. Understand he's actually leaving Racing at the end of the season. Destination unknown. La Rochelle has been mentioned. Agen has been mentioned. Quality player.
Outside, Michael.
Had to deal with his fair share of injury setbacks, an ACL problem last season.
Outside.
They slotted into a very tidy back three, considering Teddy Thomas and Simon Zebo will have their feet up watching this game as well.
The line is outside, okay.
Team littered full of superstars.
Thank you, time on. Listen, any confusion.
Saracens have not taken care of their own ball, but are they going to be given possession on account of a knock-on? They are.
Lost on, it did touch a black hand after, so it can't play on.
Worth reminding everybody that for Racing, a win today, securing a home quarter-final. in the extraordinary La Défense Arena. Knockout stages for 5 of the last 6 seasons.
Saracens, let's go, please.
This only their 10th season in European competition, so relatively speaking, newcomers, if we can put it that way, to the top flight of Europe, but it very much is a priority for that man, Jackie Lorenzetti. Runner-up in 2 of the last 4 campaigns.
Good height.
Leinster in Bilbao, Saracens in Lyon. They put the Champions Cup right at the top of their priority tree.
Bind. Set. Hold it there. Hold it.
Machino's on for Iribarren. And Saracens have the ball through Earl.
Tackle, release, tackle.
Interesting, isn't it, when it comes to the crunch? Final 20-25 minutes or so, both sides bringing on hugely experienced scrum halves to marshal the game plan, to control, to manage. A few better at it than Richard Wigglesworth. Real tussle in the air. Saracens again profiting.
The kick and kick chase are just superb. So well done by both sides. We see them practice it in the warm-up, but it's not just the trajectory, the length, but Imhoff has had to come from outside into the pitch because Wigglesworth kicks the ball within, what, a metre of that touchline? And then the chase from Lewington is so good that just in one phase, Saracens make 40 metres.
The fact that Lewington doesn't have to break stride at all means that when he takes off, he looks like he's going for the ball, but he knows if I don't get it, I'm going to bang into you. There's no chance you're going to catch it cleanly.
New prop on the field for Saris, Titi Lamasotelli, American international, replacing World Cup winner Vincent Koch.
Yeah, send them on, boys, send them on. We don't stop, send them on.
And the changes in the pack for Racing as well. Colin Garr onto the loose head and Baptiste Chouzenou. Loré and Ben Arous making way.
New boys.
Heading for the final quarter then. A draw, no good to Saracens. They will be out of the Champions Cup if the score remains like this.
Well, I guess when you look at the final quarter, they've only conceded 1 unconverted try in the last 5 matches. Their defence really does go up a couple of gears, so we'll certainly rely upon that and the boot of Wigglesworth to keep them in this game. But as you've already said, Ali, this score isn't enough for them.
Please, hey. We need to hold and keep the pressure, and we need to control. At the moment, you're both at fault. Okay, so I'm not going to free kick somebody for early. You need to keep it steady and hold the pressure. You need to control the pressure. Is that clear? Let's go then, please.
Instructions clear from Nigel Owens. A draw, by the way, wouldn't necessarily give Racing a home quarter-final either, so as it stands, neither would be overly satisfied.
Time on. Stability. Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold it there. Stay 9.
Earl picks Taylor. Cruz. Lewington on the chase again. Dulin eyes on the ball at all times, slips past the first defender. Absolutely thumped in the tackle from Taylor. Timed that to perfection. Russell trying to provide some quality ball for Chavancy. Stopped dead in his tracks. It's Palu.
Racing not been able to get any fluidity into their game because every time they've had the ball, they've been under pressure. This is another example of that slow ball, trying to work their way out of their half under the 22. And a penalty given away at this point. Could be absolutely deadly for them.
Hughes.
Tonga. Russell again for Vakatawa, the game breaker.
It's his first carry in the second half.
Penalty advantage. Sarries infringing at the breakdown. Toji scragging Finn Russell. Back for the penalty.
Yeah, Finn Russell really frustrated that that penalty came. He's desperate to play flat, really attack Saracens to get that momentum that Ugo's talking about back into the game. They can't do it if they're allowing Saracens a run up at them, but he wants the ball to be on top of them. Saracens, no time to react, and then they're going to start winning the collisions.
Change at tight head for the French side. Gomez Sarr making way for Ali Oz. This was the game plan from the off for Saracens, to take Racing deep into the final quarter to see if they could play for the full 80 right at the extremities of their fitness.
That's taken down by Blue.
They reckoned that Munster had done their level best for a good hour, but that Racing came through in that final quarter very effectively, on account of the fact that perhaps the workload for Munster had got the better of them. Russell for Dupichot.
You make a good point, Ali. I thought Munster punched themselves drunk because of the physicality of Racing. I'll say this Saracens team are probably a bit fitter. Obviously, absolutely desperate. This is their season in the next 20-odd minutes, and you can see it in the way in which they're been able to defend right now.
Chavancy, grubber through. Daly reads it nicely. No options.
It's a great kick. It's a brilliant kick. Not from Daly, to put Daly under pressure.
Here's Russell. Oh, have to be careful with the tackle. Daly brought him down safely in the end. Colin Garr for Donica Ryan, man of Munster, of course, who knows all about European competition. Tonga, nice footwork, slips past Earl, who goes back in for a second effort. Palu asking questions of this vaunted Saracens defence. The line speed still strong, and the tackle from Jackson Ray sufficient to dislodge the ball. And Saracens' work rate paying dividends again.
Yeah, traditional old Racing style, really, wasn't it? That big forwards, wave after wave, phase after phase, but when they tried to hit that launch button, they probably didn't want to be throwing the ball at Ali Oz exactly up around his shoulders, and he probably wanted someone else in that channel, to be honest.
Richard Barrington on for Maka Vunipola, who trudges wearily to the touchline. Looks like he could use a season off, actually.
13 carries today.
Good, yeah? Okay.
Saracens' top carrier.
Last scrum was good. Same on this one, please.
Doesn't tend to leave much on the pitch,
Okay,
Mako Vunipola, does it?
When you're ready, we'll go.
The try, of course, significantly in the early part of the contest that really put Saracens in the driving seat. Shortly after the removal of Billy Vunipola with a suspected broken arm.
Crouch. Binds. Set. Keep it up, good for them. Keep it up. Stay here. Stay close. Stay close. Stay close. Stay close. Hughes in, please, Hughes. Go back. Go back.
Dula. Bundled.
Lewington again. Really good kick chase. Bit of a nothing kick, actually. Owen Fowler's under a bit of pressure, but he stays in that fight. Really good from Duncan Taylor, and then it's Lewington, who actually thinks had a big impact, especially stylistically. Hungry chasing those Wigglesworth's kicks. That Farrell kick once again, turning that ball over. Saracens find themselves once again in Racing's half.
Key contribution in Swansea.
Again, now the next time I'm going to free kick you because it's taking too long, please, okay?
Nigel Owens keen to keep things moving. 15 minutes to go, game still in the balance. Saracens' next few months in the balance. I told you. With an infringement from Racing, Nigel Owens disregarding
Great decision.
the advice from his assistant referee.
It's Lewington again.
Brilliantly claimed. Wigglesworth on the ball. Farrell now for Barrett. It's traditionally the moment Saracens like to turn the screw. Jamie George trundles up. Tightly packed to the short side. Farrell. Lovely transfer from Taylor to Lewington. Approaching the 22 now. Barrington carries forwards. Farrell, George, each time across the gain line. Farrell again. Oh, Daly misread that. Finn Russell has it. Punches it downfield. Maitland has to get his skates on. Doulin's after it.
Big moment, turnover there. I tell you, it's the best thing that could happen to Maitland. See that ball go into touch. So much pressure on him. Just miscommunication. Elliot Daly wants to come under. Farrell wants to hit him going out wide. And in that moment, Finn Russell does the right thing. Boot to ball. And sends the ball back into Saracens' half. Into their 22, in fact. Exactly where they'd want to play this game.
Okay, time out.
And Jamie George is receiving treatment.
Oh, yeah, okay, cheers.
Another concerning sight for Saracens fans, not least the situation they find themselves in, having been pressing on the opposition 22, now pinned inside their own.
Just look, see them looking at his rib. One of those things particularly difficult for the front row scrummagers if you pop a rib cartilage or one of the intercostal muscles in between them. Even if it's not a broken rib, it can be very, very inhibiting for the next few weeks.
Back on his feet. Don't forget, the drama doesn't finish here at Allianz Park. 3 o'clock. We're in Toulouse as they take on Gloucester from Pool 5. Cherry and Whites need a bonus point victory to have a sniff. Montpellier against Connaught. Similarly, in Pool 5 from 3 o'clock. BT Sport 3 for that one. All the highlights from 5:30. And Rugby Tonight on tour. Wednesday looking at the impact and indeed all the ramifications of Saracens' relegation from the Gallagher Premiership. To the tail. Back into the Premiership next Friday, of course, with Saints Irish. Good chase from Maitland. Tonga's lost it. Machino has it. Farrell sniffing an intercept. Doulin just letting the ball come to him. He's been thrown to the ground by Farrell.
Good contest, driving in and up. That's good contest.
Machino. Neither team keen to play a great deal in their half at this stage, understandably so. Daly, Finn Russell just keeping things interesting. Lewington, he'll run from here. Great acceleration and power as well from Lewington, beyond the 10-metre line. Quick ball for Wigglesworth to work with. Barrington. Farrell, Daly.
Was Farrell hit late there?
He's down. Wigglesworth searching for his man, and Lamosatelli pops up. And the TMO has intervened. Farrell taking a long time to get to his feet.
Correct, yeah.
Let me know if it is late. Is it late yet, or are we checking it?
It is late, okay.
Barrett, and the whistle will be blown to have a look at this in a moment or two as Itoje carries it onwards. Cruz for Farrell, back to his feet. The warrior that he is, Ben Earl. Good tackle coming in from Russell. Here's Taylor at pace. Great line cut. Lamosatelli, lots and lots of earnest endeavour, and unable to puncture the defensive line.
Okay, Nigel got the...
so time to have a look at the shot on Farrell.
The problem here is that Farrell stands still, so he makes the final. If that's two players running towards each other, you take another step and then hit him after he's passed it, but Farrell's not going towards him. So that is late for me.
Yeah, it's absolutely late. Doesn't need to make that tackle.
Red scrum cap, yeah?
That's correct, set and white, yeah.
For me, this is a cheap shot, really. He knows the ball is gone and he just carries through, so there's going to be a yellow card here for
That
this.
is correct, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Bernard LaRue
Number 7, please.
facing 10 minutes in the bin with only 11 remaining. That will level things up.
Yeah, look. No. If I thought you were in the process of making tackle and it's just a timing with just a penalty, that's a bit of a cheap shot. You know the ball are gone and you carry through with it, okay? And that's the yellow card. There's no need to do that, is there?
It's absolutely fair, isn't it? 2 cards today, 2 absolutely needless cards.
As always.
You know, Racing have been under all manner of pressure over the last 15 minutes or so, and of course, that's not helping anyone.
14 men aside now. They'll only get LaRue back for 1, and a decision to be made here. Farrell looking like he's going to take on the post.
No, he's going to give it to Daly.
He's going to give it to Daly.
He was saying, you have it. We didn't mention that win before that assisted Ben.
Okay. Time on then.
Well, he is the man for the long shot. This well within his compass. He'd be perfectly happy taking it on a further 10, 12 metres further back than that. Nice conditions, gentle breeze, not really a major factor.
Well, it came to Saracens to win trophies, didn't he? You know, he's got an opportunity now to extend that lead, because it is the 4 points which they need to keep this alive. Not to keep today alive, to keep their season alive. Don't want to over-dramatise it, but that's exactly where we are.
And he doesn't hang about. Straight up, big thump. He sent it well wide. He knows it from the moment it left his boot. He wasn't happy. There is never a great deal of time taken over those kicks by Elliot Daly. That's his style. And a chance goes begging. 24 points apiece, 10 minutes to play. LaRue in the bin, Skelton sent off. There should be a bit of space out there.
Time on. Left or right,
It's a firm pitch. And it's an unsatisfactory score at the moment for both sides. Like you said, for Racing, it's not home quarter. For Saracens, it's out. So someone's got to get a grip of this game.
Up goes Dulin. Great touch on the ball from Daly, but Farrell was onto it, and Palu has picked it up in an offside position.
I think he's
It doesn't come off his head, it comes off Elliot Daly. He's onside.
Got it wrong. Sorry, Nigel.
Well, Nigel's closer, he might be right, but certainly my thought was that it was off Elliot Daly's hand. Oh, it is off his head, he's 100% right.
It's correct, Nigel, off the head of 15.
Head of 15 after.
Just as I said.
Well, Palu's given up the field position now. Good recovery.
It's a knock on from Elliot onto his head.
Jamie George, after a swift consultation, sends it up for Cruz. That link, that bond, that telepathy working well as ever. Searching for a bonus point here, Saracens, but searching for a try that would take them into the lead and potentially into the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup. Ray, what a tackle that was. Itoji.
Stay there.
Wigglesworth feeding Farrell, who's put in an unconventional crossfield kick. Maitland can't gather it. And instead, Dupichot touches down.
Hey, cool down, cool down.
It's a lovely disguise on that kick. Bit of topspin from Farrell. Heavy bounce to the ball. Ooh.
Did he gather it behind the try line, or did he take it over?
Well, this was the penalty instant. It comes off Daly's hand and then goes onto the head, as Hugo said, so that should be a knock-on originally, so they never should have had that penalty, Saracens.
Just get the angle for you now from behind the post.
Was this dotted down or carried back?
Stand by, Nige. Just coming up for you now.
Key decisions in these key moments. It's Machino who was airborne as he gathered it, kind of over the line, wasn't he?
This is your best shot here, Nigel.
Yeah, I can't see from you. You're telling me where it is.
I think he carries it.
Is it taken over or is it already over?
Well, it ends up for Dipper Show though, who was behind the try line.
What a call. What a call with so little time remaining.
We'll come back to the high shot now, Nigel. Bear with me a sec.
Yeah, they both touch it at the same time. I think you're right, Hugo. The player that ends up on the floor with it.
Doopy Show, who I think was in goal, but Machino's. Oh gosh.
What do you do with that?
Okay, Nigel, for me, that's carried back by White.
Carried back.
That's correct,
Carried back. It's going to be a Saracen scrum.
Caught just
5 metres out.
Carried back, scrum down.
What an opportunity this. What a moment. After everything we've seen today. Fans have been through the mill. Coaching staff dealing with an altogether different situation. And now this opportunity to save their season.
A very narrow Brad Barrett's had to come in to play 6, give them that extra body, but also to maybe try and force Racing to put someone on their flank. They haven't done that, Racing, by the looks of things. So Racing have a full complement in the back line. So is this a case of Saracens keeping it in, trying to drive them over 8 against 7? There's their new back row forward.
Barrett on the blind side.
Now they have brought in that extra body. So a bit more space for Lewington if they can get the ball wide to him now. One short in that back line, both sides.
One of the biggest scrums in their season. Earl has stumbled, recovers his poise. Tackled by Chuzanu. It's there for the pack. Good show from Barrington. He's made important meters. Picked up by Jamie George. Is he going to be driven onwards here? Instead, he's driven back. Great defence by Racing. Agonising moments, these.
A lot of Racing shirts on the floor, though.
One by one, they carry. Big effort from Lamasiteli, Itoji. Never a question that this is going wide. They're that close. They can smell the try. Another big rumble, and Racing have wrapped themselves underneath this. Chaboussi right underneath the ball. And the try line is so near. They must be close. Racing to giving up another player here, potentially to a yellow. Saracens go again. Wigglesworth thinking about feeding it out. Still they move. With a penalty advantage. One more meaningful surge. They've got it down, have they? Celebration a little early from Farrell. There. Duncan Taylor might be the man.
Yeah, time out.
He might be the man for the bonus point. He might be the man for the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup.
You okay there? Okay, time out. Okay, Ian, there's 2 things I'm going to ask you here, okay?
Yes, Nigel, go ahead.
The first thing is the initial lunge by Jamie George, I think it was.
Yes, the tackle was
whether
made.
he got to the line or not.
Okay.
If he hasn't on that occasion, the guy then who picked up the next ruck to go over, was he part of the ruck or not? And if he's not, did he get to the line? And if there is no try and coming back for the advantage, he never went back on side here anyway.
So you've got quite a few things to look at, so I'll just line the clips up for you now.
So have a look at it, please. Time out.
So a little bit to look at here, a little bit to dissect, and bodies everywhere.
10 minutes, 3 or 4 decisions 50-50 against us.
I know it's because Saracens is playing you as a ball.
No, there's no 50-50s. I make the decisions and call them, whether they're 50-50 or 100%. We didn't see a knock-on from the thing. We just heard him off your head.
Chavancy deep in discussion. Here's the penalty offence that led to the advantage.
Yes.
This is Barrett.
Okay, Nigeria's your original penalty against 12, okay?
Yeah, got it. There's
no
a guy
clear
coming from
grounding
behind
there.
as well. He's offside, it's just a penalty.
That's
It's not
fine.
nothing more than just a penalty.
Okay, and we roll this through now.
Let me speak to my team one, get this sorted, then I'll speak to you after, okay?
That looks short to me.
Yeah, it looks short on
Palou just getting his hand in, stopping it, and then
arrival.
Okay, Nigel, we'll just check it here.
So that's George going short, and then he just wanted to check where the ball was picked up from at the next phase and whether it got to the line. So you can see Taylor there just dropping down to pick it up. Is he in an onside position to pick it up?
Forest of bodies.
If I'm nothing clear here, then we're going to go back to the pen.
Well, that's it.
Well, there's the ball.
Okay, Nigel, we've got the ball that ends up over the line, okay? Just going to establish how the ball actually got there, okay?
I think that guy was in the ruck, that one, so I can't allow that the second one, I don't think.
Okay, bear with me a sec. I'm just going to try and get the angle from the other side to see where...
You'll see whether the hand's on the ball.
That's on the line there. You can see the point of the ball.
You can't see whose hand's on it is the only thing. And is Taylor in an onside position when he picks it up? God, this is a tough one. There's someone bound onto him. It's Barrington, isn't it, who's bound onto him?
Okay, Nigel, so I'll tell you what I've just...
He's already bound in the ruck, so I can't allow that. He's fully bound all the time in there. Yeah?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to go no try, no clear pickers, back to the penalty, yeah?
That's correct, yeah, against 12. Right.
No try.
Where's he?
No try.
Hands in a ruck.
Brad.
Should be a penalty, should it?
I'm sorry it took a bit too long, but it's very important we get the correct decision. We don't have a clear grounding for the try. There's an offside against you. You were offside, but a player came from behind you, so it wasn't a professional foul for me, so it's just a penalty on this occasion. Okay, the penalty to be here for the offside. Thank you. No, the penalty is here.
So the drama continues. The suspense continues. Farrell will take the 3 points. Low-hanging fruit for a man of his quality. With 5 minutes remaining of the match.
You just said to Nigel, I think we scored it 3 times.
You and me are not TV directors.
It's blamed on the TV directors there, Nigel.
Follow this in, nice. Did you say 5 minutes?
For the lead. And now to hold out. Saracens, by their fingertips, still have something to play for this season.
Hang on, let him go. You go left or right? Huh?
Duncan Taylor gathers it in. Field position, everything at this point. And again, it falls to Wigglesworth to ensure that Saracens are doing everything they want to do in the right part of the pitch. Lewington tries to get the tap down. Farrell is in there disrupting. Knocked forwards by Saracens. It's Racing possession.
Yes.
They've not been able to deal with the aerial threat this half, have they? It's been classic Saracens in terms of that pressure. See Wigglesworth with the bum taps.
Okay. How you feel for better view for me?
No, it's Racing. It's Sarri's ball.
Just the regather.
But the first knock on. Oh gosh. The first knock on's from Saracens, surely.
Well, that.
This one here.
Just checking it again.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, it's not obvious at all.
Let's go then, lads.
Okay, so Saracens will.
No, there's no clear knock-on.
Yeah, they're going to retain the ball. There's no other ruling been made.
There's no clear knock-on from black 10. Nothing clear and obvious.
Let's have a quick look at the standings then, as we head for the final couple of minutes. And this result, as it stands right now, would be enough for Saracens to move into 8th place and into a quarter-final position. Racing would stay in 4th as well. That would mean a home quarter-final as it stands, but of course others might overtake them.
Yeah, Toulouse play Gloucester, and they'll back themselves at home so they can potentially take that final home quarter-final match.
Keep it up. Stay close.
Earl, is there one more twist here at Allianz Park? In a day of extraordinary happenings, in a week of extraordinary happenings. Another brilliant gather from Brice Dulin. Racing in possession of ball. Ali Oz, plenty of ground to make up here. Tranduk is on at fly half for Russell. Machinot for Tranduk. He's going to attack the gay line himself, beyond the 10-metre line. Taylor does the tackling. Shuzanu.
Discipline now for Saracens. No cheap penalties, no easy out for Racing. Make them, force them to play. It's them that are chasing it.
Decent carry from Donica Ryan. The continuity strong as well. Sonkoni onto the ball. Taken up by Le Guen. Shuzanu again. Chavossi. Palu. Machinot for Tranduk. He's slippery. He's being held by Lamosatelli, but they're now within range. Racing after 12 phases of possession. This is Vakatawa. Where's he been this second half?
Stay there. Must be done,
Donica Ryan. Last 20 seconds here. Floated across the face of the defence. It's loose. Saracens drop on it. It's been knocked on. It is their ball. Saracens have it. Remarkably, they have it. After everything that's happened this week, after all the trials and tribulations and the red card for Will Skelton, the broken arm suspected of Billy Vunipola, they've secured the win. And they've secured life in their season. Potentially a quarter-final place of the Champions Cup. Incredible resilience. You have to hand it to this group of players. The defending champions fight on in the firestorm.
A hugely charged atmosphere here at the end of the game. Emotional scenes, as you'd expect. They've been through the mill this week.